Good evening, Andy and Amanda. How are you this evening?
Yeah, we haven't really done a great deal to Amanda, have we, Amanda, really? So.
We did a lot of walking this morning.
Yeah, we met up to show you, Colleen, sometimes the way life goes. Life runs in funny circles if you bits and pieces sometimes, because a mate of mine, who I've not seen probably the better part of about 12 years, got in contact with me about 2-3 weeks ago, and I found out from chatting to him, he doesn't live near us, but his ex-wife and his son that he's got joint custody to live about a mile away. So he told me next time he was down this way, he would call in for us. And he texted me last night because he was dropping his son off. His son's 14. And we met up this morning at 11 o'clock this morning, didn't we? So, and then we went for a 2.5-hour walk, Colleen, straight through the woods, and then came straight up along this epic river. And we walked over 4.5 miles, wasn't it? So, so then we got back wet because it poured it down. And Amanda's been working all day today, haven't you? So, yeah. So, what have you been up to today, Colleen? What have you been up to?
Yeah, so I also, like you're a professional musician, and I'm a poet and writer, and I perform poetry like you. But when there's other things that I have, so the reason why I just had no idea what I wanted to do when I left school was I liked art, so I do art anyway. I like writing, so I went on to university to do an English degree, English and writing. I like singing, so I went on to get my, some little awards and just carry on doing it. And I do that, all three, plus food. I like doing food and cookery as well. So I just had no idea where I wanted to go. So I was accepted at art school, but I just didn't know which venue to take. So I thought the best one to do is do my English degree, and then I can do all. And which is what I'm doing. Like you're a professional musician.
Yeah, my case, both my cases, Colleen, this is quite interesting because I didn't have much direction when I left school. I left school, and this is not holding beating behind the bush here. I left school next to no qualifications because I gave up in the last year for various reasons. And Amanda's case, you were even more. You stopped going when you were 14, didn't you?
I started skipping it when I was about 13 or 14, and I stopped going altogether when I was 15.
You do, it's like it's. Right. I think at that stage in your life, sometimes, Colleen, you're capable of just giving up when you shouldn't give up. Now, it took me to, really, I went to university in '98 to realise what I wanted from my life. I got the direction I needed. And so I did a creative writing degree, and then I picked up from there, really. Now, I basically everything's got in all kinds of directions. I've learned how to do music. I can't sing, but I can write songs. Well, then, I can write poetry and I can do podcasts and all kinds of things. Now, your case, Amanda, you were a bit later than me, Amanda, weren't you?
I spent 8 years. I only finished my education a couple of years ago, and I spent 8 years part-time with the Open University, getting a BA degree and then an MA.
Yeah, you did. I mean, when did you finish your Masters? About 2 years ago?
Only a couple of years ago.
Yeah, in creative writing. So something like in Amanda's end, basically, that's expanding in various directions. But you're right, Colleen, with what you're saying, really, and we were talking about this off mic before, and there's some people to bear in mind. It's as a poet, now, so I started off, and Amanda started off as a novelist, really, didn't you?
Yeah.
In your case, Colleen, as a poet, it's a natural progression. You're an artist sometimes. I want to try and master other mediums. And you've got, like you say, you're singing before, Colleen. Have you found that then? Have your focus changed over the years?
No. So I've been doing exactly what I've always wanted to do, which was writing poetry, bit of singing, cooking recipes, doing my recipes, and all these different things that I've always done, but not fully because I just didn't know which direction to take. But you're right in doing the things the way you've done, because if you have your education at 17, go on to your degree at 18, become a master or top psychologist or top in your profession, you have nowhere else to go. I know this Amanda Gorman, she's brilliant, really excellent, 23. She's already reached the pinnacle.
I've seen that video clip, and did you see that one, Amanda? Did you?
No.
She's very worth checking out, that young lady. Very, very talented young lady.
She's reached the pinnacle of her career at the age of 24. Where else do you go? and then boredom starts to set in, and you start to go into all these different things that you never expected to go into. It is a difficult world, to be quite honest. If you go down that route, there's things that you will face that you'll never have ever faced in your life. And now if you go down your route, you know how to do various things along the way.
Yeah, there's a myth, there's a thought behind this sometimes. When you're an artist, sometimes whether you should be, like you said, using before, reaching your pinnacle when you're early 20s. But at the moment, in my case, I've not even reached a peak yet. I've got a lot more I want to do yet, and I'm pushing myself higher and higher all the time. Amanda's really interesting at the moment, because tell Colleen what you started today. You had to use about your various projects you've got going.
Yeah, well, I started editing my anthology together that's going to have a total of 30 different writers in it. And the submissions have closed and we've accepted all the people that were accepted. So I've started editing that. So that's quite exciting, seeing it starting to come together now.
But you're also doing two other things at the same time, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm editing a sequel to one of my novels, and I'm editing a spoof clickbait collection, because I'm still doing my 12 months challenge.
So, how do you feel, Colleen? Let me ask you a question as a response to talk about writing today. Is how do you feel like if you're managing multiple projects at once?
It's stressful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. With it is how do you find it, Amanda?
I think if I was writing them all as a first draft, then it'd be different. But the anthology, it's like I've got one story in there, but the majority of it is other people, so it's not like I'm editing my own work. And the other two are in like first and second drafts, so I'm editing them from there. So I'm not writing 3 separate things at the same time.
Yeah,
that would get too confusing, I think.
Yeah, I can imagine that with you and Amanda. So no, I agree with you. Okay, it's about to Colleen today. It is stressful, mind you, when you're trying to do various projects at once. And how do you manage it, Colleen? Do you have a set system when you're trying to manage various projects?
Yeah, so what I do is, because like things have changed in the world and industries, like departments have changed, and you have to really now think about diversifying, because if you don't, there's so many who now have different things they have to think about because of what is now called the employer's market. So they can say exactly what they want to say and how they want you to do the work without you having much of a say in it. Because
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true. I presume I've got to be careful what I say here, Colleen, with this for various legal reasons. Have you been here? There is a rise at the moment, and I know of 2 companies in the Manchester area done this. One of which is impacted on a family member who I'm not going to name. Basically, where they've actually started this fire and rehire on worst terms contract.
Yeah, it's an employer's market, as I say. It's really sad.
Yeah, and we had interesting enough, Colleen, on this. There was a massive demonstration in Manchester. Did you hear about that, Amanda?
No, but there's always seems to be demonstrations.
Yeah, one of these companies, which I'm not going to name again for legal reasons, has he ended up with something like about several thousand people marching down through Cheetham Hill today and stopping outside the major office of one of these companies and causing absolute havoc, and then carrying on to Manchester. And then you had also Colleen, didn't you? Did you hear about the and this is common news, so I can reveal this one. Did you hear about all the trouble outside Manchester United's ground the other day?
Yeah, versus Liverpool.
Yeah, and that's something to go against. Basically, the people are protesting against the way the club's run by for sheer people said accusing the owners of being greedy. Super League, yeah, that's what started it. And it's at the moment it's because of what's gone on with the Super League, and also obviously got the virus situation. It's, as you correctly said before, it's changing the way the work pattern is at the minute. And I know a load of people at the beginning of lockdown last year, and Amanda was one of them, that were making the livings off basically being creative one way or another. And what's happened, Amanda?
It all dried up, and it took ages to claw some of it back, but now it's all dried up again. So.
Yeah, we're in a situation with society at the moment, Colleen, where it's. I know who told me this. I know it was a friend of yours said it, Amanda. A friend of mine and yours said something on your Facebook wall, where in her opinion, hospitality is going to be a major market in the UK again. Now, what do you think of that one, Clean, after lockdown? If lockdown gets lifted,
I think then it will still be the employer's market. So they will pick and choose what they require. And it's so tough what they require. It's above the requirements, or it's above what you expect of a person. That's what I'm saying. So again, it's just so important to diversify. I'm just hearing so many different stories.
yeah, no, it's a good point. I think you've got to learn to nowadays, whenever field you're going, and Amanda's a good example of this one. I'm very versed on what I do, all been for years. But you're right, is that you've got to basically be able to prove to employers you can manage all kinds of skills.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I mean, like
I've spent 8 years getting qualifications and experience and stuff, and it's not in hospitality. And I don't like people anyway, so I can't work in hospitality.
She hates people. Clean. If you got Amanda working behind a till, she gets sacked on the second day for throwing the food back at people.
There's just so many idiots around, and they say stupid things, and it's like it'll be so long before I'm just going to say something back to them.
She's absolutely right. It does happen like that, and it's not nice. But then you just put up with it. But then again, because now it's the employer's market, there's so much more you've got to do.
Yeah, no, there is. You're dead right of it. I agree with the pair of you.
Each person has to be like a managing director. Can you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I agree. It's
and if they can't even understand basic English, how are you going to be able to communicate to them that whatever it is that you're trying to give them is fine, it's up to standard, blah blah, and it doesn't work. Sometimes they just want to just pick on anything just to get their money back.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's going to be interesting time to see the ways to come in. Now, we were talked about a couple of weeks ago, well, you both remember, when we talked last minute or two, actually, if we finished tonight, about this new Amazon food shop that's opened up in London. Now, I'm going to both conclude with tonight on this one. Can you see a lot more shops going automated like that more and more over the next couple of years?
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I don't like them though. What I heard is if you pick something up, it charges you, and it's like I like to pick things up and examine them before I buy them.
Now, out of interest, Colleen, where this is coming from where we are in Tameside more than more. Do you ever use your local libraries much?
No, but I'm going to now. I only use my library when I was at school. That was any time.
Yeah. What we've got, I don't know what you've got your way, and there's something people to bear in mind that to conclude with tonight is. A lot of the libraries around us now are reducing the hours they're actually staffed, and everything now is automated. So you just come in, get your library book, check it out, or drop books back off, and there's no staff around. So what's it like around your way, Clean? Are you aware of that yourself, like that?
No, I haven't been to a library since I left university because I've never needed to. Because I always get things. I can read things online, so I don't need to go to a library. But you're right. Absolutely. It's just gone that way now. And it started in the lockdown in the last 2 months, I'd say. But before that even, now it's just got so bizarre that I'm just, I've got to the point where I think, am I talking to a real person or not?
Yeah,
because
you wonder.
That's where it's going.
You do wonder sometimes. And it's like I said,
we've covered so many grounds tonight, and it's really interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot more to talk about, really, because you think really like it. This is February of Interest in Living tonight. We've already touched on the way society's changed, and it's over a year. And you think both think yourself now, including me, in another year, society's moved on probably 10 years in a year.
Yeah, it's true.
What's going to happen to you? Who knows? To conclude with that one, definitely so. Right, guys and girls, we are now approaching 14:45. So
enjoy the rest of the bank holiday.
Yeah, guys, and then to conclude, stay dry. It's pouring down out here in a minute. See you all soon. Good night.